welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm Christina Pretty, your host, known as the Seamless Knitwear Designer, and this is the Seamless Knitting Podcast. This is episode 8, and it is Sunday, May the 26th, 2024. I'm from Peterborough, Ontario, Canada. You can find me and all of my patterns that I designed on Ravelry. Also, you can find me on Facebook, my website, and Instagram. So I will be linking all the show notes below this video so that you can find all the things that I talk about here today, including my email and mailing address in case you'd like to get in touch with me. So today's topic is going to be all about Knit City, Toronto, that I went to last weekend. It's also going to be about 2 sleeveless summer tops and Father's Day gift ideas. Also about my new bike I purchased and some other things. So anyways, but before we start, pour yourself a beverage of choice, grab your knitting or whatever you're making, and let's SSK for a bit. So today I'm just drinking a cup of peppermint tea that I just made, and it's still a little bit hot, but it's good to have on this day. It's kind of cloudy, windy, cool today. It's still spring. What can we say? Summer isn't quite here yet, so we're getting some nice days, but some rainy days too, and some cooler days as well mixed in there. So let's see. First of all, I'd like to start off by announcing the winner of the free pattern giveaway from last month's podcast. And that winner is, and I'm going to post the name right here, is at Catherine Brunger 4213. So congratulations, Catherine. You have won the Teapot Cozy pattern. So if you could just send me an email and I'll send it out to you. So I'll just put my email address down here, but it'll also be in the show notes. Okay, so let's start off with what I'm wearing. So today I am wearing my fern top, and this is a sleeveless summer top. And I'm just going to show you the pattern first. So this is the pattern. And I'm just going to tell you a little bit, a little story behind it and why I designed this pattern. So this pattern is dedicated to my good friend's daughter, Fern Rose, who passed away in February of 2016 at the young age of 36 from health complications that she was born with due to Down syndrome. To keep her spirit alive, I have designed this boxy, cap sleeve, lovely convertible top with a Shetland fern lace pattern up the center front to keep it simple but elegant to suit everyone's body shape. I hope you enjoy knitting it and most of all wearing it. Okay, so that's the little story behind this pattern called Fern, because her name was Fern. And so it comes in sizes 30, 32, 34, 36, 38, 40, 42, 44, 46, and 48. So there is, I have two gauges on this pattern. One if you're knitting it in a 3.75 and one if you're knitting it in a 4 millimeter needle. So the yarn that I used for this pattern was Radiant Cotton, which was 100% Egyptian cotton, which is a DK weight. They were 100 gram skeins. There was 203 yards and 186 meters. But you can also use any DK weight yarn to substitute for that yarn. I have listed on here, there's Papyrus, Cottonwood, Cotton Supreme DK, Bamboo Pop, Cotton Supreme DK Sea Spray. There's a flax yarn. There's all different kinds of summer yarns that you could pick and choose from. There's always new ones coming out on the market as well. So the one I don't have the one that I used for this in particular, but I have something equivalent to it that I've used in my speckles and stripes tee. I use some of this. So this is called Cotton Supreme DK. So Cotton Supreme DK. And the yarn did come in skeins like this. And these are 100 grams. This one in particularly is 230 yards, 210 meters. It's 100% cotton, and this color is called Hosta. I use this for the collar, cuffs, and hem of one of the tops that I did in the speckles and stripes tee that I showed, or I think I was wearing on my last podcast. So anyways, it's a beautiful, soft cotton, very, very soft. And I think that's why it's called Cotton Supreme, because it's so buttery soft. Easy to knit with, not hard on the hands. Yeah, because it's an Egyptian cotton, so it's really nice. Or no, the radiant cotton was the Egyptian cotton. This is just a really soft cotton. It's made in Turkey. So anyways, there's that. I have a gray one here too. So I have a sweater quantity of each of these yarns that I'm going to make something with at some point. And this one's just called gray. So that's the yarn. So any DK weight yarn can be used. And I used I've listed several other yarns on here that you could use as well. There's Luxor, Sirdar cotton, Sirdar summer linen. Yeah, so there's lots of different ones, and they're 50 cotton or acrylic or linen mix or blends of different yarns. And now there's, I hear of Sandisgarn DK and worsted and, yarns as well that could be used for this as well. I used a 4mm needle for my tops, and the gauge on a 4mm is 22 stitches and 30 rounds over 4 inches. So yeah, it makes a really nice top. And I have another one here that I've done in a bamboo yarn. So I'll just show you the front of it here. It's a really, really nice pattern. So what I like about it is the pattern goes all the way down the center of the top, and it's worked from the bottom up. So you start at the bottom and cast on, and there is a garter stitch, hem. So after the garter stitch hem, you're working the lace pattern up the center, and you're working to the underarms. Okay, so let me just show you here. You're working the body of the sweater and the pattern up to the underarms, and then you're going to divide for the armholes. So once you divide for the armholes, you're just working on the front stitches only, half the stitches. And what's really nice about this, it makes the armhole edges are all included into the pattern, so you don't have to pick up stitches later on for the armholes. So they're self-finishing. So there's that. And then once the front is done, then you're going to cast off some shoulder stitches and you've got the neck hole here, and then the other, sorry, you don't cast off the shoulder stitches. You leave them on stitch holders until the back is finished. So once you leave the stitches on the shoulders, and then you finish off the neck, and you just leave them until you're finished the back, and the back is done exactly the same. And then when you're finished both shoulders, you are going to do a 3 needle bind off at the top. So you could also do Kitchener stitch to graft them together if you don't like the seam, but I kind of like it for structure. So that's what it looks like on the outside. And you just get a very small flat seam on the inside. So it's very smooth, you know, there's no bump or lump or anything there. So it's very nice finished. And so yeah, it's a very simple top. I would call it a beginner to intermediate level. The only hard part about it is if you've never done lace work, and it's just on this pattern, the lace pattern is a 16, it's 16 rounds to the pattern over 13 stitches. So you have 13 stitches and 16 rounds. So you'll be working in the round, doing the lace work from the bottom up to the armholes, and then you'll be working the pattern in the flat, and it's in the pattern for both ways. So all in all, it's a really easy pattern. I don't think it gets much easier than this for bottom up, for a bottom up top, all seamless, knit in the round, knit flat, and joined with 3 needle bind off. So it's a nice sleeveless summer top. So the same with the one I'm wearing. It's the same one, only that one was made out of bamboo and this was made out of the radiant cotton. So you can see that the pattern goes all the way down. So you can also, because you can make it convertible, you can also put the pattern you can do it all the way down, or you can just do maybe 3 of the motifs down here, but put them on the back so you can have it so that you can wear the top either way. And I'm going to show you another top in a few minutes where I have done that. So you can have them all the way down or just 3 at the top. And so the back would have 3 down the top, and then you could turn it either way that you would like it. So it's a really, really nice summer top and cool to wear, and I don't find it hot. Okay, so if you have any questions about that, just leave them in the comments below. So that is the fern top. Okay, so finished objects. So this is a finished object, and I also have another top that's finished. And this one is called my Catherine top. Much like the one I'm wearing, this one came later. I had designed the fern top back in 2019, and this top I designed in 2021. I liked it so much that I wanted another one, and I also wanted it in black, but I wanted to do a different design up the front of it. So this one here, also I just want to say that I will probably put some pictures right here, maybe of the fern top if you can't see it, so that you can see it on my body and the way it looks, because I can't really stand up and show you because I'm so close to the camera and there's no room to back up because I'm on the couch and I have this table in front of me. So I will post pictures of anything that I talk about today, so that I don't have to keep saying that. But anyways, so the next one I'm going to show you is the Catherine top, and this is the pattern. Okay, and I will put pictures of this one in here because it is black. You can't, I didn't want to wear that one today because you wouldn't be able to see the design on it, because it looks better when you see something behind it like white to show up the design. I don't wear anything under it when I'm wearing it as a top out in public, but as far as to capture the design for the pattern and for you to see, it looks best if there's a white top underneath it just to show the design. So I will put pictures in here of that, and there's also pictures in the pattern showing it as well. So okay, the same gauge, the same yarn was used for this pattern. So it's just got a different pattern down the front and on the back. So I'll just show it to you here. So anyway, so this is the black one. As you can see here, I just had it folded. So the light is kind of showing through a little bit there. Hey, there, maybe that's better if I show one. There we go. So I'll let the light shine through it so that you can see this design. So one of those circles there that you see is the pattern repeat. So each one going down. Okay, so you can see them there. Okay, so they're all the way down the front of the top. Okay, that you can see there, all the way down to the very bottom. But I also did the 3 on the back. So as you can see here, if I can show you, there's just only 3 down the back. So you can wear the top with the 3 at the front. If you're a little more conservative and you don't want all the holes going down, or you can wear it with all of them going down. I like it both ways. Whatever you're in the mood for, wherever you're going, if it's a dressy, casual affair, or, you know, depending on what it is, you're going to know which way you want to wear it. So, yeah. Let me see what else. Okay, so that's the fern top and the Catherine top, and they can be convertible. So wear it whichever way you would like. Make it out of whatever yarn you would like. I like it something that's a little drapey, little light, and great for summer wear. Sometimes it's nice to have something sleeveless, especially when it gets hotter, and you know, you don't want something too you know, hot and clingy. You want something light and drapey. So okay, so that's my finished object. I just want to say too that everything I design or knit or crochet comes off the needles or hook in one piece, so there's no sewing involved. So the only thing that I ever sew on is buttons on a cardigan sweater. So everything is seamless, whether it's bottom up or top down or whichever direction I'm knitting or crocheting. And that's what I specialize in, and I have been knitting that way for at least 30 years, long before anyone was really doing it. I think the only other people that were knitting the way that I was at the time was Cabin Fever. Other than that, I really don't know of anyone. So it's the only way I know and the way I like, because I don't like sewing things. I used to do that, but I've gotten away from it, and now I enjoy it this way so much more, and I find I don't have unfinished objects anymore. So that is a real bonus in my world. So, okay, so let me see. My works in progress. So my works in progress, I'm only going to talk about one right now. Last podcast, I talked about a sweater I was designing, and it was called Rainbow Raglan, and I'm still working on it. I really haven't done much more with it since the last podcast, because I still have time to work on that one, and it's getting a little warmer now, so I was wanting to do some summer things, and I'm still working on my socks that I showed last time as well. They're getting closer to being finished, and so there's going to be some new patterns coming out shortly, and I'm excited about them. So anyways, this one here I designed, I've been working on since, well, I guess since last podcast I've been working on it, and it's I call it my new fancy summer lacy top. So I have done I think 3 prototypes with just some cheap yarns, just to work out the details and see how it looked and how I liked it. And I showed it to the groups of ladies that I teach every week, and they really liked it too. And so it's made me want to work on it and get it done for this summer. So I was thinking it was going to happen next year, but no, I think I'm going to get it out this year. So anyways, so what I've been working on is the prototypes and the math, of course, and the grading for 10 sizes for the children's version and the adult version. So this is going to be hopefully finished by next podcast. I want the top finished, and I'll be wearing it probably on the next podcast, and then I'll talk to you more and tell you more about it. So I'm going to keep some of it a secret for now, but I will just show you what I've started. So forgive me for all the stitch markers, but this happens when you're designing so that you can count things and get everything right. So anyways, so this is all I have right now to show you, because I'm just started it a couple of days ago. And so there's the front of it. It's going to be a top-down raglan, but there's going to be lace work on the bottom half of it. So as you can see, I don't know if I can show you. So there's the starting of the raglan, and there is a, now you can't see for all the stitch markers, there is a slope that comes down like a scoop neck and across the front. As you can see, there's more in the back. So this gives you a better fit. So this is how much knitting is done in the back so far. Okay, so you see all that. And there is only this much in the front. So this was, I cast it on the stitches, and it was knit in the flat for a while until all the neck shaping and everything was done. So it was worked back and forth in the flat, and then it was connected into the round. So I'm in the round now, and I will continue doing my increases until I get to the size that I'm working on. This one is my size till I get to the underarms, and then I'll divide for the underarms and put the stitches on hold for the sleeves, and then I'll work the body some more before I start the lace work, and this will be all around lace work. So I'm really looking forward to showing this to you. I just hope it works out with this yarn, and I'll tell you more about it when I get that finished. So that's my work in progress right now, and I'm going to really focus on this until it's done. So there's that. Okay, so I'm going to talk about a couple Father's Day gifts. I know last month was Mother's Day, and I showed a few things for that. So I just thought I would talk about a couple things for Father's Day, not that much. So I had designed this pattern up back in 2010, and these are my coffee cup cozies. So there's the pattern. They're called coffee cup cozies. They actually fit the Tim Hortons coffee cups or whatever coffee place you go to. They're the disposable coffee cups, paper cups. So at the time I designed this, I thought I'll do small, medium, or like small, medium, large, and extra large sizes for the coffee cup cozies. Back in the day, you know, they didn't double cup the coffees, and they were, one cup was very hot when you got your coffee or your tea, and it would burn your hands. So this was why I designed this coffee cup cozy, for that reason. I know they double cup them now for that reason, but to me that's just a waste of cups. And you could easily carry these around with you in the car, in your purse, in your pocket. They're small and easy to carry around, then you have it all the time, and it's more environmentally friendly. And so anyways, I want to talk to you about this. I'm not sure which one this, if I think this is the extra large, maybe not. No, this is the large one. So there's, yeah, 4 sizes: small, medium, large, and extra large. So this must be the extra large. Anyways, for this project, I just used one skein of Briggs & Little 2-ply yarn. It's 100% wool. There's 113 grams in the skein, so you can make quite a few of these out of it. I use 5.5 millimeter double pointed needles, and that was back in 2010. I actually use magic loop technique now, but either way, double pointed needles, small circular needle, magic loop technique, whatever is your preference. So that's what I used. But one thing that's great about these coffee cup cozies is not only are they fitted to the cup, and they look really nice, and they keep your hands from getting burned. It also helps keep the beverage hotter, depending on what you're drinking. It could be hot chocolate, coffee, tea, whatever. It keeps it hotter. But I also like the fact that the bottom's finished. So the bottom is nicely finished. So you've got this pearl edge here that's like a turning round, so that the bottom turns in, and you've got this nice star-shaped bottom. So that is great for if you're putting your cup on your furniture, a wooden table or something. This will stop it from making a burn mark or a white ring on your coffee table or wherever you're at. So I just thought this would be like a coaster. So you have a coaster as well as a warmer. So it's like a coffee cup cozy coaster. So I thought it was really great. Anybody, these can be made for anybody, for gift giving. But I just thought that would make a great Father's Day gift if you have somebody in your life that likes a hot drink, and maybe they are going to Tim Hortons for them or wherever they're going, and you can just take these off because it just slips out like that, and then you've just got this nice cozy, and you can just fold it up or roll it up and just put it in your pocket, and away you go, and you've got your own insulated cozy. So that's Yes, that's extra large. So that's the lid on there. So it says extra large. And I like to keep it so that the cozy doesn't go all the way up to the top of the cup. So when you put your lips on there, you're not getting wool in your mouth. So I keep it down a little bit there for that reason. Okay, so anyways, those are my coffee cup cozies, and you can find that pattern on Ravelry. I'm also going to talk about another pattern there's a free pattern on Ravelry, so I don't have it tangibly to show you, but I will put the picture here of the pattern on Ravelry that you can get for free. And this is for a man's necktie. So I don't know if your husband still wears a tie. Maybe he does. Maybe he's got an office job or some kind of job where he is required to wear a tie, or you just want to wear one when you're dressed up or going to a function. But I think men's ties are nice that you can do the tie in any stitch, but I think seed stitch looks nice. You know, a herringbone stitch would be really nice. Any reversible stitch pattern that you can find for the amount of stitches that you would be making the tie would be great. Now you can, garter stitch is good too. So whatever the pattern calls for, you can also change it up and do your own thing. But I just thought it was a little great idea for Father's Day. So there's that free pattern. So let me know in the comments below what pattern you would like to win this month. So out of my 3 patterns that I've showed you today, so it'd be the coffee cup cozy pattern, the Catherine pattern, or the fern pattern. And then next podcast, I will draw a winner and announce the winner for one of those patterns. That's my little gift to you from me. Okay, so a little bit of life update for a moment before I get into some of the other things. So last podcast I told you that my husband and we ordered some e-bikes, and well, we got them and we love them. So let me just talk to you about that for a minute. I just got some notes here because today is a lot of information, a lot of photos, and I've got to keep everything straight because I got 2 lists going on here. So let me just take a sip of my tea for a minute. Okay. So anyways, we got our e-bikes, and we did try them out before we purchased them, so we knew what we were getting into, and they're fun. What can I say? It's like you have a motorcycle compared to a bike. They're pretty fast. So mine is a Verve 1, I believe, Verve 1, and my husband's is an FX2. So I'm going to put a picture of them here so that you can see them. If you've ever been thinking about getting one, I would highly recommend it. We got ours from Wild Rock Outfitters here in Peterborough, which has been in business for over 30 years. They sell very good quality bikes and all the paraphernalia in that store, and they fix things, repair things. It's quite the store, I must say. And so ours is a Trek by Bosch, so they're very good quality bikes. I plan on keeping a journal of my where we go, our little trips that we go on, how many kilometers we go. Also, I'm going to carry my knitting with me in my backpack. And so when we stop and have a break or have lunch or something, I'm just going to sit and knit for a bit. So I'll be able to show you where I'm going on my travels and where I'm knitting. So it's like my biking knitting adventures. So I thought that would be fun. So anyways, they are a lot of fun. There is a power button that is on the bike, and when you turn it on, it shows you 5 green bars that the bike is charged up. So you plug it in to charge it up, and it gives you 5 bars of power. And then there's 3 speed powers on the bike when you are riding your bike. There's 8. Mine's an 8 speed. So I have 8 speeds on one side of the handle grips, and on the other side is your power button for the motor, the electrical motor. So on the back wheel is the motor, and in the front is, on the front bar going down, is your battery. And we rode out to Lakefield this one day on the bikes, and all the way out I rode in the second power, because there's 3 powers, and I rode all the way out to Lakefield on the second power, and then I rode home, and we took the pathway going out there, but I rode the highway home on the third power, which is the fastest it goes, which is 32 kilometers an hour. And by the time I got home, I still had 1 bar left of power. So that was pretty good, because I'm not quite sure how many kilometers is, but it's a good 12 miles one way in the old way, 12 miles maybe there and back. So, 24 to 30 miles a round trip. Now they say you're supposed to get 75 to 100 kilometers on one charge. Now they say that's depending on the weather and the wind and how fast you're going with the powers. These are pedal assist bikes, and so every time you're pedaling, you're going, and when you stop pedaling, it will stop. So you'll have to be careful when you take off on the bikes. You have to just start off with no power and then put your powers on, because it could be dangerous. I have found that out. I almost hit, like if you don't have the power, if you have the power off is best, because if you have the power on when you take off, it kind of jerks and you could hit somebody or hit something, and that would not be good. But when you get going, then change into those powers, and you'll find it amazing how fast you go. In fact, I got a brain freeze right here from the cold and the wind, and my head was aching from the cold because we were going so fast. We were coming home from Lakefield, and this truck flashed his lights at me, and then right behind him was a cop car, and I thought, am I going to get a speeding ticket because I was going too fast? But I'm not sure. Anyways, if we could go that fast to get a speeding ticket, but because 32 kilometers were within the speed limit. So anyways, they're pretty fast and they're fun, and I'm really enjoying it. So I would highly recommend getting one. It's a good way to travel around, less expensive than gas for the car, and you get in some exercise and fresh air, and you can cover a lot of ground and see a lot of scenery better than you can walking or in a car. So that's what I'm looking forward to. So anyways, there will be more photos, I'm sure, in my future podcasts, and I'll tell you more about that and where I travel to on the next one. So anyway, so let's get into Knit City Toronto Fiber Festival. Okay, so last podcast I told you that I would be attending the Knit City Toronto Fiber Festival. Well, I was so excited because I've known about this since October of last year, when I went to Rhinebeck, New York, for the big New York Sheep and Wool Festival. So I've known about it for a long time, and I knew it was coming to Toronto because Knit City has always been in Vancouver, and then it went to Calgary and Montreal, and they decided to bring it to Toronto, and they're kind of going to rotate back and forth. I think it'll be in Montreal next year and then back to Toronto, but then when it's out west, it'll be in Vancouver and then Calgary and back and forth kind of thing. So it won't be here for till 2026 now. So I've known about it for a while, and I thought this will be great. I'm going to go to this, and it's close to home, and I'm really looking forward to it. So anyways, it was last weekend, so it was Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Friday was the workshop days, and Saturday and Sunday was the market days. So I had planned to go on the Saturday because it's the first day of the market, and you know, you're excited to see everyone and see all the things. And so I got my daughter to look after the dog. I had everything planned and organized. And so I was, you know, all excited and hyped up for this thing. And I was scrolling on my phone, and I happened to see the Knit City come up. And I'm not sure if I saw that on Instagram or where I saw it now. But anyways, it came up and said Saturday tickets were sold out. And I went, what? Tickets are sold out? What do you mean tickets are sold out? I didn't know I was supposed to get one. So anyways, I'm freaking out, and I'm thinking, oh my gosh, I started getting bummed out and upset and thinking I told everybody I was going to be going on the Saturday and that I would meet them there. And all of a sudden I just thought, oh my gosh, I'm not even going to make it. I'm not even going to get there. So I hurried and got online, and they still had tickets for the Sunday. So I bought tickets for the Sunday, and I've learned a big lesson. How stupid can someone be thinking this big event? But I have never purchased tickets ahead of time in anything that I've ever gone to, even when I went to Rhinebeck, because sometimes I just, you know, you plan things and you just not sure when the day comes if you're even going to get there or not. So something could come up, something could happen, and so I just never usually buy them ahead of time, and so I didn't think nothing of it this time either. And anyways, I'm happy for them that they sold out, but they also said that they were only going to sell tickets at the door on Saturday. They only had a few left to sell at 12 o'clock. And at this point, I thought, you know, I am not going to do that, because chances of me getting there and getting a ticket, I might not. And plus, it started at 9 o'clock in the morning, and it was over at 5. And so I didn't think there'd be enough time to see everything and do all the things. So anyways, thank God I came across that on my phone, because if I hadn't, I would have drove all the way there and get to the door and had to be turned away, which I heard people were turned away on Saturday. So I don't know. I was just like, wow, I won't do that again. But it ended up being a blessing in disguise, because I went on Sunday, and we'll get to all that. But Saturday, I heard, was really busy, really crowded, and it got really hot inside there. So when I was watching some of the Instagram posts, because people were starting to post photos of their time there, I started getting FOMO, thinking it could have been me being there and I was missing it all. But anyways, you know, I could see people fanning themselves, and I thought, wow, it must be hot in there. So anyways, when I went on Sunday, people were saying, you're glad you didn't come on Saturday because it was really busy. It was crowded, it was hot. And so anyways, when I went on Sunday, it was spacious and open and airy and cool. I never had any of those experiences, and it was best. So after doing Sunday, I am going on Sundays from now on. I'm not going to go on Saturday. So I think Sunday is the day to go. So anyways, let's get into that. So that's my little story behind that before we even get started. So anyways, from Peterborough to Toronto, it is about a 2-hour drive. So I'm just going to have a cup of my tea, a sip of my tea for a minute. Okay, so it's about a 2-hour drive from Peterborough to Toronto. So we left at 6:30 in the morning. Yeah, it was about 6:30 in the morning because it takes 2 hours to get there, and I wanted to be there a half an hour before it opened because I wasn't sure where we were going to park and how far we'd have to walk to get there. So anyways, it's right down, it's on Yonge Street, right down at the waterfront. So this was at the Westin Harbour Conference Centre. And I am going to be posting pictures here. So the Westin Harbour Conference Centre, I'll post a picture here of that. And the picture that you're going to see when you're looking at it, to the left of it, you're going to see there was a parking lot there. So that is where we parked. Excuse me for 1 second. I'm back. Sorry about that. Someone was at the door. So anyways, so the picture that you're looking at, when you look to the left, there was a parking lot there, and that is where we parked the car. Because I heard right at the hotel it was $55 for the day, and I didn't really want to pay $55. So where we parked was $30 a day, which, still expensive, but what can you do? You're in downtown Toronto, and that's the prices they charge. So we're right at the waterfront. So this next picture that I'm going to show you is there's a catwalk from the building that you've seen just prior. There's a catwalk that takes you across to the other building. It's the same building. It's all the same building, but it's across the street. So that's where the conference, or the Knit City Toronto Fiber Festival, was held, in that one. And right beside it, to the right, there was a Tim Hortons. So everything was perfect. The parking was right there, the building was right there, a Tim Hortons was right there, and you just went in. So everything was really easy driving Sunday morning. There was no traffic whatsoever. We got there at 8:30, a half an hour just like I wanted to be. We parked, we got in, and my husband went down and got some tea and some muffins, and while I stood in the catwalk in line waiting to get into the Fiber Festival. So someone came by and checked our tickets and put a band on our wrists so that we could go in and out of the show all day, and it was perfect. I couldn't ask for anything better. And right outside the door of the Fiber Festival were the washrooms, so everything was close and handy. It was perfect. So anyways, what else was I going to say? Okay, so I'm just going to start off by saying there was 112 vendors. Now that's a lot of vendors to see in one day. I had a lot of fun meeting new people and talking to vendors and podcasters, squishing some yarn and buying some lovely things. And I'm still high on yarn fumes from it, and this is a week later. We had a wonderful day, but I'm going to talk about it now and post some pictures while I talk about it. So anyways, okay, so the first person that I ran into there at the Fiber Festival, and I'll put her picture here, is Noelle from Knits and Pieces. So I have met Noelle before in Fenelon Falls and at Rhinebeck both. So this was my third time meeting her, and I really enjoy their podcast. And her friend Kelly was with her, but I didn't see Kelly all day. So I was really hoping to see her as well, but that didn't happen. So anyways, so that's Noelle. The next one is Cabin Boy Knits. So I ran into them, and they have beautiful yarns using, and they just use natural dyes to make them. And they had a beautiful booth as well. So that was really nice to see them again. And I have seen them before in Fenelon Falls as well. So the next is the owner of Lichen and Lace. She had beautiful hand-dyed yarns as well. The next picture is Dolphina Collective. She had her beautiful yarns there too, as well as her beautiful bags that she makes, project bags. Next is Paula from Mayak. She has naturally soft, authentically sourced yarns. So those are really nice as well. Next is Julie Hoover. She's a knitwear designer, and she mostly does bottom-up designs that have to be seamed together. So that's Julie Hoover. Next is Tanis Fiber Arts. I met Tanis and her husband Chris and her children and her sister and her little baby. So she has beautifully hand-dyed yarns, and she's also a knitwear designer. Okay, so next was Sandy by the Lakeside. I met Sandy. She has beautiful leather bags, and she has aprons that she makes. So these are nice leather project bags, and she has all different styles, shapes, sizes, and colors. And she had a really nice booth, and it was really nice meeting her in person. I watch her podcast all the time, and it was really nice to meet her in person. So, and her friend was beside her sharing a booth called the Cozy Knitter, and she was a sock yarn designer. Next was Nancy Wheeler. I watch her podcast, and she has one called Knit Sip Happy, and she gave me her card and one little project keeper, and when she sips on her podcast, she sips on wine. So it's a little wine goblet here, if you can see that. So that's her card and her little project keeper she gave me. So I thought that was really cute. Okay, so next was a lady. Her name is Mandy, and she has Red Island Fiber, and she does some hand-dyed yarns as well. Next, we have Les Garçons. They're from Montreal, and Max and Vince are the knitwear designers and dyers behind the yarns that they carry. It was really nice to meet them as well. I watch their podcast as too, and they just opened a yarn shop. So next is Collage. they're the ones that make the square needles that I showed you on my last podcast. Well, they kindly gifted me another pair of them with the soft cord to try out. So I'm going to give them a try on a project soon. Next is Sonder Yarn Co. So they have a beautiful yarn selection of natural dyed, not natural dyed yarns, but I think they're getting them dyed at a mill now, and beautiful yarns there as well. And I'll show you some of my acquisitions in a minute that I got there. So I met Lisa and Melissa and Jackie and Carmen. They were the ones working in the booth, and they also, Jackie and Carmen have a podcast as well, and I watch them, and I have met them in Rhinebeck before, so it was nice to see them again. So the next one is, it was called Buku. They have nice project bags and needle cases and things that, you know, that you would use for knitters and crocheters as well. So there's that. And okay, so I think I've gone over the people, whether they were knitwear designers, hand dyers, yarn shop owners, podcasters. Those are the people that I met there that day and talked to and got pictures of that I just showed you. Now I'm going to put a little slideshow here of the rest of the pictures that that I took of the Yarn Festival. So in case you didn't get there, I want you to see the rest of the show so it makes you feel like you were there. And you'll have an idea of what the show looks like and what it entails, so that maybe if you ever decide you want to go in 2026, you'll have an idea of what that's about. So, okay, so I'll put those photos in now. So I'll let you watch them and then come back and I'll show you my acquisitions, what I bought there. Okay? Okay, I'm back and I hope you enjoyed those photos. The ones that were at the beginning of this podcast were of the waterfront at Westin Harbour, and so those were at the beginning of the podcast. So I hope you enjoyed those as well. So this here was the little pamphlet that was given to us when we paid our admission and went in. So it was a little pamphlet here. And inside of the pamphlet was the marketplace layout. So you get to see the map of it all there. And then on the back was a list of all the vendors that were there. So there is quite a few vendors. So all in all, we went right in at 9 o'clock when it opened up. And I took my time walking around, looking at everything and talking to everyone. And by the time we were done that, it was 2:30. Now on Sunday, it was only open till 3. So at this point, I hadn't purchased anything yet, and I wanted to get something. So you keep in mind what you saw and what you thought you might want to get, and then you can go back and get it. So I got some birthday money last month for my birthday from a couple of friends, and I thought I want to get some souvenir to bring home from the show, after going there and seeing everything. So anyways, what I purchased was some yarn from Sonder Yarn Co. And when you purchase yarn from them, they give you this nice canvas bag which says knit your story. And at the top is their name on there, which is a really nice thick canvas bag with a drawstring. So this is what I purchased. So I got 4 skeins. Oh, and they also give you a little sticker. So I purchased 4 skeins. 4 skeins. Okay, and the 4 skeins that I purchased were Sunday Morning DK yarn, which is 75% BFL, and BFL means blue face Leicester, and 25% Masham. So there's the label. And there's the color. So this color is like I would say it's like a greeny gray teal. It's a little different than a usual color that you might find. In fact, this is one of their new colors they just came out with at Sonder Yarn Co. It's called Still Waters. And it's a DK weight. There is 268 yards on a skein and 245 meters. The gauge is 22 stitches over 4 inches and 3.75 to 4.5 millimeter needle. And this is 100 grams. Okay, so these were $36 a skein. And I got 4 of them so that I could do something really special with this. So I haven't decided yet what I'm going to do with this yarn, but we'll have to see what it becomes. So anyways, I'm not going to start anything with it right away. I'm going to sit on it for a bit and really think about what I want to design with this or what I'm going to make with it. So anyway, so that was one of my purchases. And the other I got was this cute little project bag. Now, it was Buku was the vendor, and it was a mother-daughter team. And they had all the beautiful little project bags and needle cases and embroidery cases and different sewn items. And the story behind this, when I was going to purchase it, the little girl spoke up and she said, "I drew that when I was 6 years old." I thought that was so cute. She's not 6 years old now, but I could insert a picture here. Yeah, I'll insert a picture here of her, and I think I already have, and if I have, you know, you've already seen it, but she's almost as tall as her mom now, so I don't know how old she is now, but she's in her teens maybe, not quite sure. So she drew this when she was 6 years old, and her mother thought, being a knitter, and this is a knitting fiber festival, she thought she would silk screen this onto fabric, which this is like a linen type fabric. So she silk screened the picture on here on both sides actually of the fabric, and it's got a ball of yarn. So it's a cat with a ball of yarn, which is so cute. And so you can see the fabric. It's a nice linen fabric, and it's got a nice zipper. And I'm going to use this as my sock project bag. So in it is my ball of yarn and sock project. So it's got some nice linen-y type or cottony fabric inside. And then they also have their label on the inside of that sewn in. So I thought this was a really cute little bag, and it's got a nice story behind it. And I've met them in person, and the little girl's name is Piper. So I thought that was cute. So that was my only other purchase that day. So after the show was over, it was 3 o'clock. It was closing time. Went to the washroom and we went outside. It was a beautiful day, so we took a walk down by the water and sat on the bench for a bit and watched the boats go by and just sat in the sun for, you know, maybe an hour or so before we headed home. So all in all, it was a wonderful day. I just felt really great. I was bummed out Saturday that I wasn't there, but Sunday worked out to even be a better day all in all. So you never know why these things happen, but when they do, it's a blessing in disguise, and I will go on a Sunday from now on. I really enjoyed it so much more. And you're still meeting lots of people. I know there was a lot of people on Saturday that I wanted to meet and said I was going to be there, and I've already watched their podcast now and seen the pictures of them there. So anyways, there's always another time, and I'm sure I'll see them again. I don't plan on going to Rhinebeck this year because I just went in October, and Knit City won't happen again until 2026. But I do have a couple more fiber festivals that I'm going to be going to, one next month and one in August, and I think that will be enough for this year. And I have enough yarn to keep me busy for many, many years, actually. So I need to use up some of my stash before I purchase any more yarn at this point. And so I'm anxious to get going with it. And yeah, so anyways, lastly, I just want to say that my husband has to go into Toronto Hospital to have a triple heart bypass. So he's going to be going in the first week of June. And so I don't know if he will be up to doing editing for me next podcast in June. So this one will go up in a day or two after doing the podcast today. We'll have it edited and up and running. But when I do the next one, I'm not sure how he's going to be feeling to be able to do that for me. So I might have to just upload the video myself and fill out the description box myself, So there might be no pictures, no music, no nothing. It's just going to be straight, raw, no editing whatsoever if I do decide to do one next month and without his help. And otherwise, there might not be one. It depends on how he's feeling and what I have to do to help him get well. So, anyways, I'm not sure when I'll, because I'm trying to podcast once a month. And so we'll see when that time comes. But in the meantime, that's all I have for you today as far as knitting content and all what I've been up to as far as life updates and all my knitting and that. So anyways, yeah, I think that's everything that I talked to you about. That's all I have, I think, for today. So anyways, I want to thank you all for taking time out of your day to watch this podcast. I had some new subscribers last podcast, which was really nice, and some more comments, which I read and replied to. So I hope that you'll leave a comment this time. And if you have any questions or want to know anything about what I've talked about or anything at all, just leave it in the comments. I'd like to know what you're working on and what's bringing you joy. And I really would like to get to know this knitting community a little bit more. So I only watch podcasts and I get to know people through watching those, but I really don't have anybody else in my life other than the ladies that I teach weekly to talk to about knitting. So if you would like to reach out or leave a comment and say hi and tell me who you are and where you're from, that would be great. So in the meantime, if you liked the content today and you'd like to see more, you can also tell me what you would like to see from me too, and that would be great, and that'd give me something to work towards too. So please like and subscribe and hit the notification bell to be notified, because I'm not consistent with my podcasts. I've been very good at doing them on the Sunday, which is a quiet day around here, and that works out well for me. And so yeah, just hopefully you're keeping well and keeping busy, and I'll see you on the next one. Happy knitting. Bye-bye for now.